So we'll see whether he's able to get his positioning down pat consistently and put out some damage on these champions, or whether he just continues to be a little bit of a liability right now.
Yeah. Well, there are some old stats, by the way. Of course, Rise falling through a draft for the first time earlier on. So we are going to see the Thresh being banned away on the side of Vici. Hyper Youth Gaming taking some time, but it is going to be misfortune in the end. Endless not going to be able to pick up that lane bully. And EasyHoon is going to ban away his own LeBlanc.
LeBlanc? Lissandra.
Lissandra, that's the one. LeBlanc Lissandra. As it is going to be the Gangplank ban here, mostly to Long. I haven't actually... Have we heard any inkling towards EasyHoon playing Gangplank?
I'm sure he can. It is a wave clear champion. It wouldn't surprise me if he's able to pick it up.
Makes sense,
but
right?
Long was very famous for his Cull.
Yeah,
like what? Mana Crystal Cull.
Yeah, his Cull Sapphire. No, Sapphire Crystal start into Cull Sheen, I think it was. Beautiful. Stunning stuff.
The
Really
lane
loved it.
pressure Gangplank, they call it.
Powerful.
So much kill threat.
Oh, yeah. Well, Kallista's going to be banned away here on the side of Vici Gaming.
This shows how much Vici are worried about their bottom lane. We mentioned the fact that,
yeah,
Hyper Youth Gaming should look to get over onto the Kallista Thresh combo. It's something that XQ and Shu do play fairly well, but they get rid of both of them at this stage of the game. And that is the one champion that right now EasyHoon looks terrific on is Rise, but they will pick him up Corki as a first pick.
Yeah, Corki is going to go over there. Of course, Endless can play it. We've seen him play that one in the past, as March now has the opportunity to go towards the Graves. And Alistair, of course, another option here as Shu will be able to pick up the second-tier support, you have to say. Or, in Vici's opinion, the second-tier support as Thresh was banned away.
Trundle's still available.
Yeah.
Poppy also there for Caveman. So there are a lot of supports. I mean, Caveman plays a heck of a lot of Graves, so Graves, a heck of a lot of Alistair, so I agree with taking that off him. And we'll see whether Shu is able to play aggressive. He has a couple of plays on Alistair himself, and it just seems to be the most prized support in the LPL right now.
Yeah, a lot of play with the Kallista there as well, so not going to be able to see that one, as Poppy is going to be the lock-in here, and that's actually giving away exactly where they're going as well, as Alistair will be the support. Top lane for 17 will be the Poppy.
Not necessarily. Jungle Poppy has seen a tiny bit of play internationally.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
There is like probably the third position. Like I would say support top jungle is probably the order that you're most likely to see Poppies in at the moment.
And then mid AD carry from there.
I would say AD carry mid. I've never seen her played mid.
Not enough walls.
No.
Yeah, makes it a struggle. But Dandy, he's going to waste no time. As that swap went over, he is going to pick himself up the Graves. The Trundle's there as well for either Lung or for Caveman. Nice flex picks here, and Dandy more than happy to pick up that Grave. So not sticking to his guns as far as that Rengar is concerned.
Well, now the Rengar pick doesn't make that much sense because they've got a Poppy on their team. As soon as you see the exclamation mark, you just put up your W. Rengar doesn't really have a way in.
That's a good point.
So it's one of the better counter picks right now for a Rengar. Don't tell solo queue. They just want to think there's nothing that counters that guy. So we'll see if he's able to have an impact on Graves. I mean, he took it twice against EDG. He got Rengar'd himself in one of the games by Clear Love.
Yeah. But it is going to be Tristana locked in here for XQ, and actually like that pick away, as Endless is not going to be able to pick that champion up. He was banned away against him a couple of times, if I remember correctly. And Elise is going to be the jungler here for March. So that does mean that it is going to be the Poppy top and the Alistair support. Or the Poppy mid. So Endless is going to take the Lucian, or at least consider the Lucian. And they're going to go towards this sort of big burly tank triple AD comp that we have seen be quite successful in the past. And do you like this with sort of like more of the spell-based AD carries using the Ezreals and the Corkis in this type of comp, or do you like having some of that late-game insurance?
No, I think that you go Spell Weavers as soon as you go this comp. They just need to be able to siege down turrets, and both Corki and Ezreal do that really well. Blue Ezreal's all the late-game insurance you really need, because as long as you can kite back, everyone else gets their damage in, and Corki doesn't really fall off all that far at the moment. So right now, they've put together a very good team comp. Vici, this is probably what a lot of people in the LPL want to run.
Yeah.
Nautilus is probably the best single tank peeler. Trundle also very good. He's kind of like melee Janna And we'll see what Hyper Youth Gaming pick as their mid laner to run into this. We've seen some variance in options, something like a LeBlanc to try and kill one of the AD carries, or something like a Victor to try and stop the sieges and set up split pushes around the map so the lack of Poppy can get in a position to be able to become a huge anti-carry as the game progresses.
Well, it is the Victor that's being considered at the moment. I do like the LeBlanc idea a whole lot. We'll see whether they are going to go towards something like that. Because I think you're right. I think you just need massive amounts of burst damage, right? And then you can get rid of a whole lot of these tools that Vici have. And without sort of that big amount of consistent damage, they may just fall apart. But we'll see.
But we saw Rookie kind of earlier tonight coin this the counter pick for the
mid-Corki. Yeah.
Mid-Corki, able to take the Victor into it and do a lot of burst damage with his build. Continually put out pressure and make sure that he was staying up in farm.
Also staying very safe in that lane as well, as you can farm from so far away on the Victor. But EasyHoon is going to try it out. Not going to be doing any fancy switching between the Corki and the Ezreal as far as that mid lane is concerned. It is going to be the Corki in the end.
That's kind of the EDG special, where
the Ezreal Corki flex.
Well, they don't pick one solid way that they want to play the flex pick. I mean, I've seen Pawn take the Ezreal, I've seen Pawn take the Corki.
Yeah.
Deft is 100% no stranger on either. So even when they were both Trinity Force users and there was no blue build, I think Pawn had 2 plays on the Corki and 1 play on the Ezreal. And Deft when they ran it in the composition. So they certainly able to keep it back and forward. It looks a little bit more standard now to take the Corki into the mid lane.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like everyone's finally caught on to the old idea. But of course, these champions have gotten quite strong over the off-season. We'll see exactly what's going to happen. It does mean that Nautilus is going to be in the top lane up against that Poppy. We've seen that one be picked up for that quite a few times, as Caveman is then going to be on the Trundle. And the Trundle Ezreal lane has been something that we've been seeing a fair bit, but I just want to see how this game turns out and what we're going to see in the early game. So let's get onto the Rift. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for game number 1 between Hyper Youth Gaming and Vici Gaming. As you can see, defensive start for both sides. The old dipping the toes into the river, but not actually wanting to dive all the way in. And EasyHoon and Gosu just going to lock eyes and do not a whole lot else.
Never underestimate the stare off at the start of the game.
Yeah. Oh man, there's another champion that can kill wards before they've disappeared. Nice.
Can he solo?
I believe so. He tried to swing at it, and I think as soon as you start swinging, you're going to hit it, right? Even if it goes out of vision.
I have no idea. I asked you. Why are you asking the question back?
It's a good question. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he can.
Okay.
As soon as you got an auto attack reset, generally that works. Right? Well, you're the analyst guy. I'm used to asking you stuff. I just like phrasing things as a question. Okay. Well, Leona can do it, therefore Trundle can do it. Let's just go with that.
So, no, Leona's the only auto-attack reset that her... So, an auto-attack reset is when you can auto-attack and then cancel the animation and get a second auto really quickly. She's the only one where the third auto-attack comes out straight away afterwards.
Ah, the triple reset.
Eacham played a AD at IWCA in the 1v1s and thought she was broken.
Well, she was broken at the end of that 1v1 because she was lost.
Yeah.
But it is going to be the Gromp start. Krugs are going to go down, I believe. Dandy starting on his red buff. Actually, no, he grabbed the experience from the Krugs. So slight advantage here in the bottom lane for the Tristana Alistar. And that is a lane that, with added experience, can get ahead early.
Yeah, but it's also a lane swap, so it doesn't really matter right now.
It's a very good point.
Ezreal in the top lane. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of a strange 2v2. Ezreal versus Poppy and Nautilus Trundle
Man, this is the type of lane that you'd have.
Oh, they're going.
Yeah, they're going very aggressive. Lung hits that level 2,
goes.
grabs the stun. There's the Riptide in as well, as he wants to get it back in here as Caveman. He's turned up to the lane. Another stun goes down as Lung's just charging this one through.
And as far as 2 bruises, you probably don't want to fight.
Yeah, I was going to say,
it's Nautilus Trundle.
Yeah, damn right. This is like Garen Wukong levels. Cheese bottom lane.
I love how you say Season 1, Garen Wukong.
No, that's the cheesiest that I've seen most recently.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even know how that wins.
Well, you just run at them. I'm not in a Nilo that has very many strong players in it. So if you can walk at someone and start hitting them, they tend to not really know what to do.
It's alright. Oh, Endless took a turret shot.
Oh dear.
I had someone run a Gangplank 80 carry the other day in one of my games.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you say that his attack speed's just really, really, really low?
Shout out
as an AD carry?
I know you're watching as well.
Well, as you can tell, things are relatively slow here in the early game, as we are going to have pseudo-standard lanes. Lung, they're going to teleport towards the top side.
That's a dive up there.
Yeah, they're looking for it as Dandy's able to get out of turret range, and that's going to be first blood going down. Endless uses the heal to get out of the turret. And Vici, pretty predictable as far as, you know, knowing that was going to happen, but not a lot that HYG could do about it.
In the end, really well executed, actually. You know, Endless grabbed turret, aggro off it, had to burn a summoner spell, but that's fine. And now the teleport's coming in back top, and you know what? They're all still there, S17.
Oh, wait, have we just... Was there a pause? I'm really confused. I feel like we've just done an instant replay.
Else lagging?
Yep, Dandy is going to be able to pick up the kill this time. I swear that it was Endless.
And I thought China had learned. We went to Worlds and pretty much lost because we did not understand lane swap meta.
Yep.
And S17 has just teleported to a turret with 3 people there.
Yeah.
And now Caveman, you're a support.
Well, Caveman's done the same thing. The Coon is going to land.
Yeah, but he's not going to teleport back because he doesn't have the spell. Oh!
He even gets a kill.
Well executed game, man.
Nailed it. Okay. Well, that's an interesting start. Let's have a look at this.
So now we get an instant replay.
Wait, hang on. Is this a third kill?
No, this is the second one. So
all right, got it.
See, he's able to get Lung underneath the turret. Tried to go for the outplay. Lung, of course, very tanky at this stage of the game. Nautilus has some of the highest base tanky stats. And you can see that right now, Vici 3-1, up 1.1 thousand gold. And sitting pretty in these lanes.
Yeah, and we're used to thinking of Vici as being this sort of slow, methodical type team. That was a very, very deliberate, aggressive play early on in this game. Wonder if it's a sign of good things to come here for this team. As Lung is just being a big astronaut. I love Nautilus. I think he's a great champion. Look at him floating around. It's just satisfying to watch. As Easy Hoon able to clear out minion waves here in the mid lane. Gosu doing fine, but falling slightly behind. As Easy Hoon has a bit of added pressure. Also a bit of added experience there as well as March. He wants to try again.
Certainly does. Walking over a ward, however, we'll be able to sweep that one out. Not really much gank pressure on a Trundle Ezreal at this stage of the game.
I was going to say, if you're going to gank anyone, I wouldn't gank Trundle Ezreal ever. It seems like disengaged central. But worth the attempt. Ping's now onto him as Dandy's going to infiltrate the enemy jungle. Can't find any Raptors, but may find a Krug or two. Caveman speeds himself up, but there's the flash combo. Endless able to get out of it, though, as XQ wants to find something. Lots of auto attacks down. That's the explosion. Jumps forward. Goomba stomps him. Caveman trying to get something done in response. He gets on top of him, though. That's the support tanking up the turret. Oh, no. He was tanking up the turret. That's bad news, Bears. March is going to fall down as well. It's a double kill for the Trundle, but Shu survives.
And Caveman, just start building like a Frozen Heart or something. You are now the carry of this bottom lane.
Oh, yeah.
3-2-0 as now Lung looking to get S17 one more time. Guess who?
Oh, the ultimate comes in. Dandy with a bunch of burst is going to be able to lock that one down. Actually, Lung picks up kill credit. And that's a 0-3-0 Poppy.
And 20 CS down as well. Right now, Lung is an absolute monster. Might even organically get the turret as well.
That is the worst time to die as well when you got this massive creep wave. Just feels utterly horrible. Oh, Easy Hoon That was really nicely timed with that cannon creep.
Certainly was. So a little bit of lane bullying going on there. You can see Dandy also trying to steal away. Oh, wow, that's a level 6 to a level 4.
Well, that's what happens when you kill the top lane 3 or 4 times in a row. Not entirely sure whether that last replay was actually a replay, so I'm confused. March, though, he's going to try and defend this red buff.
I don't know
Nautilus
if he
is
can.
coming over.
You know, they've pulled up Shu as well, so the Alistar is mid lane. Everyone's kind of around there, but now Lung's coming across.
Yeah, there's the heroic charge, though. The ultimate goes down as 17's trying to do some work. Shu's found his way in here somehow. Flash over the wall by Dandy. It's going to at least get him relatively safe.
Boots of speed.
Yeah, the ultimate comes out just to try and deter them. You can see Dandy's walking hella quick.
He's going to have the smoke screen pretty soon.
Oh, 17 is able to at least get something down, but doesn't find too much. Cocoon not going to land, and Lung just says, I've got a dredge line, and then I'll go back to base.
Yeah, so disengage successful, but they do once again delay even more time off March's level 6. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane,
Complete zone.
maybe the two people that look like they were going well, XQ and Shu, they have to break up the partnership. That means that this Tristana, who was ahead, isn't able to bully as much. It's getting zoned away from creeps.
Yeah, and this is BF Sword Pickaxe against a tier Sapphire Crystal and Boots 2. That is not exactly something that you'd want to be going up 2v2 against as Endless, but without the Alistar there, all the extra pressure from Vici really doing some work, as Endless just loves taking turret shots today. As March being discovered by Dandy. Dandy is everywhere that this Elise is. Can't even find the Cocoon, as Shu once again has to move over.
But they need to be careful here. They do get it and back out. Because if the Tristana had a collapse, you know, Dandy is very far ahead.
Oh. Okay, Gosu takes a bit of damage. Easy Hoon's still putting on pressure. Hasn't been back yet. Neither of these mid laners actually going back. Might be the frustrating Corky thing where he just stops you from backing indefinitely.
Yeah, and does better than you with no item.
Yeah.
There's Lung also now in.
Casual dredge line. There's the ultimate as well, as Gosu's going to get knocked up. Can't find the Phosphorus Bomb for the kill. Does Easy Hoon.
It's double summoner spells, however, with just an ultimate. That was a
teleport.
drive-by.
Teleport happened as well. 17 was thinking about making his way down, but cancelled it. Triple summoner spells. Oh my god.
I love Nautilus. Have we been over this yet? I think we have.
Fantastic champion. That was a max range dredge line as well. I was half expecting that to miss. Look at him. Riptiden. Love it. And he covers more ground than his steps would make you believe that he does too, which is exciting.
I honestly have no idea what you just meant by that.
Well, it's like he's actually floating and he's just walking for no reason. Because it's like he's, yeah, slides a little bit. Never mind.
Teleport coming into the bottom lane. Dandy here also.
Yeah, able to take down a ward. We'll see whether they can continue the dive. Of course, there is a big burly Nautilus making his way over. XQ is going to get dredged. There's the rocket jump, though. He's going to get to relative safety. Has to flash out of the way, does Long, and he's not going to be useful in the rest of the fight. Dandy is going to get exploded. XQ's able to lock that one down. Endless relatively out of mana, as you can see in the back line. It is the Elise falling down. Double kill for Easy Hoon as he makes his way over.
Yeah, and Hoon with the package flies through the team fight.
I was wondering where he came from.
Able to get a lot of work done there. That means it will be a 2-for-1 and probably the turret going across as Endless.
Of course, gets turret aggro. Not bad. See what he can pick up now as he heads back to base as well, because that's going to make these type of plays a lot more effective when you've got an Ezreal that actually does damage.
Right now, far out, 5,000 gold at 11 minutes in.
Where did that even spring up from?
Well, you know, the 3 kills in the top lane, the 2 turrets that they've grabbed to nothing. Yeah. And the huge CS advantage that Easy Hoon has in the mid lane, all probably contributing to this gold lead.
I'd say so as well. As my god, look at those numbers. It's like 1,500 in the mid lane, but it's almost double in the top lane. I mean, they've got less, but jeez. Vici just taking so much control of this very early on. Able to even kill Harold.
And you know, Easy Hoon, he wants to go to base anyway, so he'll pick that one up, get the empowered recall going. Actually won't. Wants to get his blue buff first. Greedy Easy Hoon.
Greedy Hoon. That didn't quite work. Gosu, they're going to continue farming things out, but you can see organically his turret's almost fallen down. 0, 1, and 1. Only one upgrade in that Hex core just yet.
I don't know if I call a Nautilus driving by my lane with a dredge line organically, but... Oh, found another one.
Well, looking for XQ.
Yeah, he's in trouble.
Yeah, as he walks away, though, that's a red buff on XQ as well. Lung's taking so much damage, so many rocket jumps to come out as the ultimate comes in. Both of them knocking themselves up at the same time as there's the flash forward. XQ locks down the kill.
Did XQ just rocket jump twice?
Well, yeah, if you finish off your explosive shot, then you get a reset. So he managed to do it one more time. And that Pillar of Ice ain't going to do much as Dandy makes his way in, immediately cocooned. Has to be very careful. They lose the turret. An Easy Hoon heading over as well. There's an Ezreal in the top lane, and there's a Victor coming down. They will have a man advantage.
Maybe a teleport as well, as you see S17 going back to base. Only really has the boots too, but has caught up in CS, which is good news. And this Tristana now, weight of the world on her shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to get HYG in a position to be able to carry out this game.
Going to go back and pick up a Infinity Edge here as well, and boots too, and a dagger. He was sitting on a lot of gold even before that kill, so this Tristana even more frightening than before, and she was frightening before. Vici now going to start off this dragon. Easy Hoon still getting the pressure onto Gosu. Not a whole lot answered by this Victor. As the big one comes down, smacks him in the back of the head. Free dragon by the looks of things is Tristana's in the top lane. That's where all of their money is. Vici going to be able to lock down the free objective. We'll see whether they move towards the mid lane as Harold buff is going to move off. Gosu taking a bit of damage from the True Shot barrage, but you can see Easy Hoon able to definitely lock down this turret. Ooh. Endless comes in. Fantastic use of the Arcane Shift as Shu. Whoa, okay. Not going to use the ultimate. But if that rocket had a hit, jeez.
Calculated.
Yeah, well, calculated. Is that what you said?
Yep.
Jesus. Nice. Rocket, not quite as calculated. Easy Hoon has to go back, but is going to be able to steal away the blue buff. March now frightened to head into his own jungle as there's the Pillar of Ice. Soon coming through, but Vici just sieging down these turrets, and that's exactly what this comp wants to do.
Certainly is, with a couple of items now finished up. Trinity Force done for Easy Hoon, as well as an outright Manamune for Endless. Should be time for them to start sieging up, but you can see that really, as long as XQ stays safe on the backline and is able to put out damage, Hyper Youth Gaming will kind of fancy themselves because of the artificial tankiness of the Alistar. March caught up. Oh, that's not tankiness at all. He needs to go back.
Yeah, that's what happens when you stand a little bit too far out against these guys, so at least they now know.
Well, it was a beautiful pillar to set that up by Caveman.
Yeah.
You can see that Long started split pushing in the top lane again. They need to really send someone up there to deal with him.
The bottom wave had already shoved through to that turret as well, so Vici, good time to siege out this mid lane. And send XQ up to the top lane just to eat all of the farm. Wants to be able to get to his attack speed item as quickly as possible. See whether he goes for the rapid fire cannon for ludicrous range, level 18 Tristana.
Yeah, or if one of the games may be more appropriate to go with Static Shiv. Hasn't been buffed yet on 5.24, but Wave Clear certainly could help out because he probably is going to be split pushing for a lot of this game.
That's a good point.
Don't really like the item, but sometimes situation means that you have to pick it up.
Well, speaking of items, Endless almost with that Iceborne Gauntlet completed. Only needs the 775 combine cost. Or combine cost. I think combine cost sounds like something from Half-Life 2. It's easier here. And with the package, they head up the mid lane.
See whether they can make a play. Last play they made was around this package. In the bottom lane, secured themselves the turret. He's actually going for Shu. A little bit of pressure here.
Wants a pink ward.
Gets a pink ward.
Nailed it. Package worth. Gets a bit of damage on that inner turret as well as he heads back towards his team. Endless now splitting on the bottom side. Does mean that it will be potential 4v5 opportunity for HYG if they want to get anything going, but Vici with a lot of vision able to take control of the area. Lots of pings around this Baron.
It's not Baron
area. Yeah. Harold. Pings around Harold. There's the package.
Does a surprising amount of damage. I mean, don't really blame him for it.
Would have been running out as well, I assume. So, useful package there, able to take down the Herald. And Dandy going to set up this blue buff as well. So EasyHoon definitely being put in a position to win this game. Now going towards what looks like a Hex Drinker as well. See how he itemizes afterwards. Endless now will have the money for that Iceborne Gauntlet. So that's the 2-item spike you're looking for on the Ezreal.
Yeah, it certainly is. And with boots too at only 18 minutes in the game, that's a fairly good click for the Ezreal to be able to pick them up. So we'll see whether this is the signal for Vici to start grouping up. This is what Vici used to do to teams, get this gold advantage. Maybe not this big in games, but then kind of put the brakes on. Would really love to see them just group up now that they've got it and just try and poke them off turrets. You know, Lung is absolutely massive. There's no way you're engaging on this guy.
Look at that positioning as well. They were really able to get a whole lot of poke over with that fantastic pillar that came out. But you're right, I mean, they didn't quite commit to anything. But this is working. And if it ain't broke, not a great idea to fix it. Endless just wants to press as many of his buttons as possible. That Mirror Mana can't be far away.
They need to start hitting some poke underneath this turret if it is going to be a siege.
Oh, nice pillar onto Gosu. Slowed down, but all of the poke had been used.
There we go, starting to chunk out the Alistar. They want to go in.
Yeah, there's the flash engage onto EasyHoon, who's sort of stuck in the wall a little bit. Repel comes down. XQ, what was that? He kills EasyHoon, but he's dead in the process. True Shot Barrage comes through. There's the ultimate from 17, but now he doesn't have it and has to try and escape underneath his turret. And this Poppy, pretty tanky, but not quite tanky.
Endless has
they
aggro
stopped
again.
Yeah, no, the turrets just love him, man.
Dandy and Endless somehow grabbed aggro off Caveman and Lung in that chase. So they couldn't continue underneath the turret because the 280 carries had it. In the end, they trade 1 for 2, but they do pick up the objective in the mid lane, extend their gold lead. And that's what you want to see out of Vici. The willingness to just hit the go button. Maybe not what you want to see out of XQ. The willingness to jump on people in a 5v5 team fight. I mean, it had been serving him very well during the laning phase, you have to say. But right now, I just think there's some better choices.
Yeah, I think so too. And it was, of course, Shu that actually started off that fight with the flash headbutt pulverize.
It was actually a cocoon that landed from March onto EasyHoon that made Shu think that he was in a position to be able to go for that one.
But I guess he succeeded because EasyHoon died. Just unfortunately, AD carry, a bit of a rush of blood to the head.
We can see that Caveman, he's 4-2-3.
Yeah.
He's got a locket in the Eye of the Equinox done already. He's looking for a dive in the... No, that's his turret. Looking to defend a turret in the top lane.
He's basically a top lane Trundle right now. He's got a lot of money.
Yeah, he's only level 8 though.
Oh, that's true.
But he is pretty much a full locket ahead of Shu, who is his counterpart, who's 0-0-6, having actually a pretty good game for himself. As we said, the bottom lane of HYG, it's kind of weird. If you take EPA and HYG...
Hey, yeah, that's
take
true.
The top half of EPA's map and the bottom half of HYG's map.
Yeah, pretty good team.
Not a bad team.
Fortunately.
It's not how it works.
Yeah.
Don't get to play fantasy draft with the LPL scores.
Yeah, if only. Dandy, though, is going to be able to take down a dragon for himself for free, making it 2-0 at the moment. 21 minutes into the game. It's going to be a late 5th dragon if they are going to go for it, but this is Vici. So they may just wait for it. Yeah,
and really Vici need to start grouping it again. We keep talking about it, but they've got so many items, power spikes, and 8,000 gold lead at only 20 minutes into the game. Just may as well siege up turrets instead. They're opening the door for this, a little bit of a counter push. Lung, though, going for a flank.
Yeah, actually may get collapsed on here as he's taking a lot of damage. There's the ultimate in. Can the rest of the team arrive in time as Gravity Field goes down? Dandy can't really do too much, and they lose their big burly tank before the fight's even really started. Decent pillar comes down from Caveman, who's looking to try and find his way in. But 17 just going to knock a whole bunch of people away. Oh, collateral damage going to lock down the kill in the end. So, top laner for top laner.
And that's how far ahead Vici are. HYG collapse onto the top laner, take him out of the map. Endless going to also stop the back of March now, so they should be able to push through onto the base turret. See whether the Victor is able to wave clear this out. But you should just be warding aggressively. Like those 2 pink wards either side of mid lane, pick them up, put them in the jungle, make them rotate through the forest and see if you can catch them out. take turrets, because right now, you're nearly 10,000 gold ahead and only 20 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and it just doesn't feel like they're that far ahead, does it? With how they're playing. But HYG, at the moment, now sieging at this inner turret in the bottom lane.
HYG caught at the front again. He gets chunked out.
Will Gosu as well. Mystic shots finding the mark at the moment, and Endless really starting to hurt.
Has got that transform 23 minutes in. That's a pretty good click for all the items to be online for the blue Ezreal. And once again, the siege is really hard to execute because of Victor. This is why we said Victor is a good pick into these comps, because it does delay the game. But what you want to be doing is warding up the way they are now and just pushing him mid, pushing him bottom. You know, get the package for the Corki, sit him mid lane, siege up with him, get everyone else bottom lane, try and execute on some dives. Lung is massive, has gone with the Iceborne Gauntlet as well. As I keep saying, ever since we gave it 20% cooldown reduction, if they don't have attack speed AD carries, there's just not much reason to build a Frozen Heart over the Iceborne Gauntlet on a tanky top laner.
Yeah.
Gives you an offensive flavor. Also scales very nicely with armor. But just want to see them utilize all these powerful champions at this stage of the game. Group up and start taking it out.
There's also so much of a lead in the jungle as well, as far as those jungle camps. It's just leads all over the place here for Vici. Cocoon lands onto Caveman though. Yeah, XQ trying to get the work done. We'll see whether he can lock down a kill. Subjugate is down onto the Tristana as EasyHoon comes in, uses the package to get back out again.
Whoa.
And my god, that poke damage was insane. So collateral damage came through and took down XQ. And look, the man plays aggressively. I think Vici should probably just do the same as Dandy, taking down his nemesis.
XQ, you know, you have to respect the decision-making, though. He understands that he's the only one, as S17 now trying to solo out Dandy.
Yeah, so flash out of the way. Endless is just going to head around. Nice use of the flash to get out of the way of that Cocoon. And Endless is just solo zoning the HYG members. Mystic, shot not going to land, but the Baron falls down, and Vici, this could be the time when they get together, actually shove down a turret.
Yeah, and now they're up by like 12,000 gold at 25 minutes in. Should be able to go back, finish off even more items. Still looking for the Elise on this side of the map. They know roughly where she is because that's the Wolf Spirit.
Endless has just been a one-man army right now. Going towards that Blade of the Ruined King. March actually has to be careful. Uses the repel onto Endless, who just kills him with an Arcane Shift. Dandy comes around here as well. He's looking for 17. He's going to head back, but Quick Draw's over the wall. Just wants to kill a Gromp. You can see the blue buff now on Endless is a big deal as well. So he's building towards that Blade of the Ruined King very quickly. Bilgewater Cutlass was used in the last exchange to make sure that March couldn't get away. And Vici now finally looking like they have the lead that they have.
Yeah, exactly right.
Oh my goodness.
Storming
the poke as Gosu. He has to leave. Collateral damage is going to do it. And that's all the wave clear gone.
Yeah, it certainly is. And Baron buff. It wasn't even much wave clear to speak of. As S17 knocks someone out of there. I don't think it's really going to matter at this stage of the game. The poke and the siege is just unrelenting. Lung is even taking up the turret. 26 minutes in. You know, you have to say the Hyper Youth Gaming, couple of bad decisions out of their top laner at the start of this game really cost them, because they're getting rolled over right now by Vici.
They most certainly are. Some controlled play as well. Endless really moving around this map nicely towards that last section, helping take down March and then doing most of the work against Gosu. I have to say, I like this Vici squad with an aggressive array of champions. Just doesn't let them stall out the game forever, is what they tend to do. And now with a 15,000 gold lead, you have to think that they may be able to push through and win this game. Of course, the inner turret now under fire in the top side. Inhibitor down in the bottom lane is going to mean that it's going to be hard for HYG to defend. But XQ, looking for it. Is the pillar going to stop him from doing anything as he's stuck? Oh my goodness, Caveman's going to be able to lock it down with the last tick of the Subjugators. He's going to head underneath the turret. There's another one. Hook comes in. 17 now trying to be a frontline for his team, but he just explodes. Endless locks down the kill. You can see now they're diving the inhibitor turret. It is going to be Gosu falling down to EasyHoon, who's just got so much burst. Endless there as well, who just loves killing people with his Arcane Shift. And now Vici, they may just follow some super creeps into this base and finish the game.
Yeah, it certainly looks like that is going to be the case. 27 minutes in. Death timers aren't too long, but it doesn't look like it's going to matter.
Oh my goodness. What happened to XQ?
He jumped in on Easy Hoon. Why not? Go out with some flair. And it looks like Vici will be able to take out Game 1 in pretty commanding fashion.
Yeah, really nicely played by Vici Gaming. Not exactly the timeline I was expecting after this game spawn, despite the fact that we thought that Vici were probably going to be the favorites here. A 27-minute victory was not exactly what we thought.
Yeah, and the tempo of the pace was set as soon as that teleport came back through the top turret. You know, the first one from long, that's a good play. Teleport up to the top lane, execute on a dive. S17 teleporting back to that turret is nearly inexcusable in the current meta. Graves does so much damage, you know. You always know the Nautilus is going to be so tanky and is going to be able to take those turret shots. It was just an overreach, got greedy for farm. Maybe a little bit of a, when you die, you just hit teleport on the turret, like, get me back to lane. I'm so frustrated I died.
Yeah.
Holy crap, they're still here. I'm going to die again. But yeah, that pretty much set the tempo of the whole game. And it led to this. This was when Easy Hoon grabbed a double kill in the bottom lane with the first package. And you know, it didn't all look bad. XQ jumping in. He was looking to take people out.
It was cute, most definitely. But I think Vici definitely looking a lot better in their team fights in this game than what we've seen over their last couple of series.
Yeah, well, they haven't been up in their other series by 6,000 gold at 11 minutes into a game. So I don't know if that had something to do with it.
May have had a bit to do with it.
But certainly agree with you. Being able to get ahead that far certainly is impressive. And you can see smiles on the faces, smile on Dandy. That's got to feel good to be able to close out Game 1 in such emphatic fashion that early on.
Yeah, most definitely. This is a team that was sort of falling a little bit, couple of series lost, and it's going to feel great to actually have a win under their belt, and we'll see whether they can carry that momentum into the next game and most importantly into the rest of the LPL split.
And you have to say that the loss against Invictus especially is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
You know, they were 1-1. Looked like they had it set up there to be carried. They changed it up a tiny little bit in game 3 and then it ran over the top of them. Losses like that hurt.
Yeah.
So to come back and hit back this hard against Hyper Youth Gaming, certainly a good sign out of the Vici lineup.
Well, we'll see if they can continue the trend. We are going to have a short break, ladies and gentlemen, but when we get back, Hyper Youth Gaming try to take a victory off Vici Gaming.